Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be looking into a technique called HyperLoRA for personalized portrait synthesis. So when it comes to generating your own personalized portrait, there are a few different techniques that you can use. One is called Dream Boost. So Dream Boost is much more computationally expensive techniques where you fine-tune a big model and it takes quite a lot of time and computational power. Another one is which is very popular is LoRA, which is a low rank adaptation. So within this technique, you need to create your own data set. So mostly it is a character with different poses like front pose, side pose, and different emotions like smiling, laughing, sad, and then you generate your text prompts and then you fine tune a stable diffusion or flux model. So once the model is trained, you have your own token or keyword and you specify that keyword so the actual big model knows that you are referring to your own custom character and then you can generate it. Other techniques includes things like zero-shot inference methods like IP adapter or instant ID. So these are also very popular one, but mostly they learn the identity features from your face and then they try to generate the model using those features, so you have your own custom portrait. So this paper, which was published in CVPR, is method is called HyperLoRA. So what the author claims is that it has a kind of a zero-shot inference method, but it can generate LoRA weights. So you don't need to train separate LoRA for each of your character. So it can generate LoRA weights. So claims is that it has a superior performance of LoRA with zero-shot capability of adaptive steam. So basically it says that it has like best of both worlds, where you get the zero shot, but you can have also the flexibility or the performance or the image fidelity, what they call it, of a LoRA. So it's a very well-written paper, and then it says like things like the key challenge is the fidelity, which is like the generated image should retain the keyword identity. So for example, if you have an image and then you want to generate a custom model and that uses your image as an identity input, then it should be matching. For example, if you have a certain hairstyle, certain facial hairs, then it should be matching. And then the editability is another one, which means that it should preserve the identity. And then you can have the flexibility of editing as well. So the paper claims that it's the best of the both worlds. And then it says like the IP adapter models do not perform very well because they have an inherent drawback. Because in these models, the interaction between the encoded identity information and the foundational model relies on hooks. Basically, you're fixing and then you are encoding the identity of the input image and then you have the fixed base using that. So the performance is not very good with IP adapters. But here comes the HyperLoRA. So instead of using those encoded, unlike encoded tokens, so the author claims that they generate LoRa weights with the plugin network, and the performance is what they claim is really good. They show some of the images as well, so we will have our own generation without using their specified images. But for the sake of discussion, these are the images by IP adapter, instant ID, PULID, and HyperLoRA. So HyperLoRA seems to be pretty good. Also the PULID is also very good. But yeah, let's fire up the ComfyUI and let's test with our own images. But before that, I'll show you quickly how can you install this HyperLoRA within the ComfyUI. HyperLoRA, and within that I have three folders: clip processor, clip fit, and then this config file. And then clip fit, you got these two config and model.tensor, and you've got HyperLoRA, and within these you got the edit and fidelity model. And then you also have the insight, which sits in ComfyUI model insight phase. You got the models, and you have and two models, all the parts here. If you're using instant ID, you have this ComfyUI models instant ID, and you've got the IP adapter.bin. So this should be it. All of the links are available on the GitHub page.
It should be good. And then you have to download this advanced clip embeddings and ComfyUI impact pack as well, to make it work. So within the web GitHub page, they have a bunch of different workflows which are ready to go. So we'll use them. And then you also have to download a base model. I'll be using the RealBase XL, so you can download it from PVTI as well. So the text prompt trigger are these three words, and then they have a bunch of different settings that you can choose to do. So let's head over to the ComfyUI and see how good or bad this HyperLoRa is. Once you have downloaded workflows, you can go open and then select one of the workflows. For example, I can select the image one. Uh, Within this workflow, you can choose to upload your photo, which is the input, and then you can have a bunch of different, more than one, and then you have to basically set up a prompt, positive and negative, and then there are a bunch of other settings as well. So what's the hyper LoRa dimension that you want to use and other things if you want to use. So this is simpler text to image. So I have tried it with this one. It is also text to image, but instead of one, I have put 5 different pictures of me, and I have modified a little bit of the prompt. Instead of the original Korean one, I put a little bit different, and here is the image. It's pretty good, I would say. Resembles kind of me. Let's try something else and see how good it is. Okay, so I've tried another one. So I have kind of a simple prompt here. Um, and the output is this, which I would say is not very good. So that means that the prompt itself is very important, how you put in the prompt and the image as well. So let's try another one. So this is another workflow which combines both HyperLoRa and instant ID models to get the best of both worlds. So in the paper, they also say if you combine both of these for extracting the identity features and then putting them into the model, it performs better. So I have the same input image and the output looks like this, which is quite good to be honest. Well, I've played with HyperLoRa and bunch of Instant ID and other models, and the output images are quite good. Uh, but I have a feeling that it is kind of a subjective if the image is good or bad. But if you stop cherry picking and then have a bigger sample size, I would still say that the LoRa technique for fine tuning the model on a bunch of your own personal images which have different poses, different emotions would still outperform this because at the end of the day, it's just a zero shot inference method. Um, Within choosing a single input image, it is kind of a no-brainer that a model which is tuned on a bigger data set would perform better than a model which only sees one or more or maybe few input poses of your character. So yeah, it is an interesting technique and it is good that we are making rapid progress, but I would still stick to LoRa. If you have a character, create a character sheet and then fine tune a LoRa model, and I'm pretty sure that you would get much better results than using a zero shot inference method. But if you are like a quick experimentation, you want a few try something, then yeah, just go with HyperLoRa and it's much easier and much smoother experience without going into the training pipeline. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.